In this video, I'm going to share exactly what I would say if you were my client and you just got an offer from a startup company as a product manager. My name is Alex. I was a group PM at Google for 4 years where I was a top interviewer. I've reviewed thousands of resumes, interviews hundreds of candidates. Now I work with proactive product managers to help them land their dream job. Today, we're going to be talking about exactly what you should be thinking about when you are getting that first startup offer or when you're getting your next startup offer. All right, so you've got an offer, a verbal offer, or maybe even a written offer from a startup or a small company. This is usually going to be in the form of a base, in the form of a small bonus, and in the form of equity. And this is what we call funny money, monopoly money, because it's a startup. It's usually not tradable. You can't actually sell that equity. Even if it is tradable, which can happen sometimes for very well-funded startups, it's going to be very difficult to actually execute the trade, and it's going to be for a very small amount. The first thing to keep in mind is exactly how is the company evaluating this equity. When they say, hey, we're going to give you 10,000 shares, great news, you're getting 10,000 shares. What exactly does that mean? 10,000 out of a million outstanding shares that have been issued, or 10 million? That's going to make a big difference. The way to figure out an easy way of what percentage of the company you're getting or they want to give to you is you just take the amount of shares that they are offering to you, let's say 10,000, divide that by the number of shares outstanding, which is 10 million, let's say, which is 1,000. So they're offering you 1,000th of the company. Presumably this would be vested over a period of 2, 3, 4 years. 4 years is the standard, but it could be different. That is what they're offering you. So you kind of know where you stand. Now, there are certain standard ranges of how much of a company is appropriate to give away at different stages, different growth, and different types of companies, different industries. Use common sense. You can use these benchmarks, but just do what makes sense at the very beginning. Like if someone's offering you 100,000 of a company and you don't know what's actually going to happen with the company, you don't know whether they're going to make it or not, you can't even estimate this, then that's probably not a great deal. But, and this is where the second piece comes in, if you can estimate it, and if you can figure out what exactly is likely to happen with the company, then you know much better of what, if anything, these shares will be worth. What is the revenue that the company is making right now? What is the revenue in the last quarter? What is the growth over the last few quarters, few months since the beginning of the year? Is there any profitability? If there's not profitability, why? Does the company have a strategy in order to grow and increase the top line so that eventually it will get to some sort of profitability down the line? You'd be surprised how often when you ask these things on a recruiter conversation, you're going to get an answer of, oh, no one has ever asked that before. In PCA, I have clients that are getting startup offers pretty frequently, and this is the very first thing that we ask. What exactly are you offering from a base and bonus perspective? What are you offering from an equity perspective? Is it shares outright, or are they options to buy the shares? And then how many shares? And then on top of that, what's the revenue dynamic? What's the profitability dynamic? Almost nobody asks these questions. Almost no recruiter has the answer to these questions. You're dealing with startups. Don't let them bamboozle you into their vision of being a trillion-dollar company. This is unfortunately how it happens. A lot of times I'll have experienced PMs when they enter PCA, when they just join, they usually tell me, okay, I'm going for big tech now. I'm going for liquid public tradable companies, because I've been having these conversations with startups now for 5, 7, 10 years where they promise me the moon, and then unfortunately it doesn't happen. So all I'm saying is just ask what the numbers are right now. Obviously, you want to understand whether this company is pre-product market fit or post-product market fit. Those are kind of the big filters for startups. And what is product market fit? It's when people want to buy your stuff. There is a product that works and addresses a need, and there is a market, which means people that actually want to buy it. And as you can guess, pre-product market fit don't yet have any customers, or maybe they don't have too much customers, or maybe they are trying a lot of different things and they're pivoting and different offers and different customers, different avatars. You're going to be part of figuring that stuff out. But if you are pre, I would consider those shares worthless. You might as well just be throwing darts. You understand? It's before anyone has ever reliably, consistently paid for a product or service. It's very low odds of success. In fact, Silicon Valley and software in general obviously are full of companies that are pre-product market fit. They're trying to figure out, and you can be part of their exciting story. You can be the future Meta employee number 10 or Google number 20. It's very, very rare. There's a ton of survival. That means that we don't see the 10,000 startups that didn't make it. We just really celebrate the 100 startups that did make it into unicorn status. Pre-product market fit, shares are worthless. Post-product market fit, they could be worth something. There's still the second challenge of scaling, and then there's another challenge of scaling meaningfully. And then there's another challenge of having some sort of a lasting strategy. It's at least established that someone somewhere wants it and it seems to be buying this service or product. Make sure you understand the base bonus, the equity, whether it is a share outright or an option, how many shares outstanding, whether it's pre-product market fit or post-product market fit, what is the revenue, what is the profitability, and what is the underlying growth for both of those. And what exactly is the plan of what you would be doing there that would make you and the company believe that you could be successful in a quarter, a year, 2 or 5 years. So when you are joining this company, I want you to pretend you are a VC venture capital investor. You're doing a total analysis of the situation, and then you are deciding with actual information. And this is exactly what we do inside Product Career Accelerators. We tell our members, okay, I want you to do this assessment and write it up. What do you think is going to happen with a startup based on everything that you know from the conversations, usually with senior leadership, product direction, what you think is going to happen. Use common sense. Please wear the investor hat and try to understand what is likely to happen. Don't just get super excited and get into the work, which a lot of product managers do, especially early career. They jump into it, then they wake up 3 years later, company's gone out of business, or they liquidated or sold to some other company. Now you're part of a big company. The big company, you didn't get the big pay, you didn't get any kind of meaningful promotion or transference in shares. I'm not saying don't do this, but I'm saying don't approach it blind, okay? That's all I'm asking. If you have any questions, please let me know. Maybe you have a specific situation, specific offer you're considering. I will get back to you very quickly in the comments, usually within the same day. And if you're interested to get into a bigger tech company eventually, or if you're just looking for your next role, you can schedule a time to speak with our team in PCA using the link in the description. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.